Heart beats fast, colors and promises. How to be brave? How can I love when I'm afraid to fall? But watching you stand alone, all of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I've loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. Time stands still, beauty in all she is. I will be brave. I will not let anything take away what's standing in front of me. Every breath, every hour has come to this. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I've loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. And all along I believed I would find you. Time has brought your heart to me. I've loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. One step closer. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I've loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. And all along I believed I would find you. Time has brought your heart to me. I've loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more.
Hello and welcome to this meditation. You can now allow yourself to ground and relax into deep presence within your heart. You can now allow your heart to expand and open its energy throughout all chakras in your body. As you relax and deepen your vibration into more love, allow any negative energy to flow and release from your being. It's time to now move forward and claim the peace that your heart desires. It's time to see yourself in a new light. It's time to be confident and express all that needs to be expressed for you to feel perfect peace in your vibration. You can now give yourself another moment to relax and welcome more peace into your life. You can now claim harmony. You can now claim deep, deep love. That protects you and serves you perfectly into living the life of your dreams, living a life in oneness with God. Allow yourself to feel and be who you've always desired to be. Allow your thoughts to manifest from the feelings of love that fill your heart. That now concludes this meditation. Thank you, and namaste.
Hello everyone, I'm Kenesha and I will be doing today's card reading. I will be pulling from the Power of Surrender cards by Judith Orloff. And I have already pre-shuffled, so let's get started. Our first card is Surrender to the Beauty of the Natural World. Take a relaxing break and spend time in nature. Replenish yourself by feeling the beauty and the ecstasy there. Yeah, so I feel like this card is really asking you to, or what God's actually asking you through this card, is to allow yourself to take a break, to rest. You actually are doing a lot of work when you allow yourself to just rest and receive, like the work is receiving. And so when you allow yourself to replenish and fill up your cup by taking a break and allowing yourself to rest and allowing yourself to go outside and spend time in nature, maybe ground in the grass or go for a walk, pick up a rock. Those are things that I love to do, especially when I find that I am moving through quite a bit at once. I will have to allow myself to move through my inner work, give myself what I need, and then take some time outside to just kind of let my mind clear, allow myself to really just recenter and refocus and come back to the oneness of what God really is, what He has created for us. One of the things that I love about going out into nature is it's really the time where I start to think about the abundance that is there already. There's an abundance of trees, an abundance of plants, an abundance of birds. There's just so much. And so it reminds me that there is nothing that God can't give you already, and that there is an abundance of love and resources for you. All you have to do is open your heart to receiving and to asking God for your needs to be met. And so as you choose to replenish yourself and feel just the truth in what God has already provided for you and will provide for you, actually allows you to relax deeper into trust and deeper into the flow and deeper into God's love. Our next card is Surrender Your Belief in Scarcity. The universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. See, I love that it says open to the infinite nature of abundance. Just like I was saying, when I go out into nature, a lot of the times it reminds me of the abundance that is already there. And that abundance is also there for us too. Really feel into any place where you feel fear or where you feel lack, and ask yourself, what do you need in that space to feel loved? What do you need in that space to feel supported, to feel nurtured? And just allow yourself to have that. Give that to yourself. And as you do, you will start to align with all of your abundance and recognize that scarcity is an illusion, and that you can have everything that you desire, that your desires are also God's desires, your will is God's will. And so allow yourself to really feel into that and make a new choice there, and give yourself everything that you desire. And then our last card here is going to be Surrender Your Fear of Change. I love that. The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always. Whether you're afraid of change in your job, your health, or a relationship, or if you fear aging or death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. Yeah, so with this inner work, change is inevitable, and it's actually the truth. Change is the only constant thing that's actually happening, and allow yourself to surrender any fear that you have around that. When you choose to persist in doing this inner work and persist to aligning with your creator and aligning with love, change is inevitable. And I found for myself that a lot of the times my frustration is when I was wanting to make a change, but I wasn't actually making the change, and choosing to look at what was keeping me from doing that. And of course, it was always fear of the unknown. So give yourself the opportunity to really look at what that fear is, and then love yourself there and remind yourself that you're worthy and enough of having everything that you desire in your heart. And that requires you to actually make a change within, and then take the action to change in your physical world. As you do that, everything will start to just align for you, and you are going to recognize that especially with your twin flame, there are things that sometimes people want their twin flame to change or show up differently, but you are the change that you seek. And so as you become that change, you will start to see everything in your reality reflect that back to you. You are the creator of your own reality, and it is completely up to you to make the change within so that you can see that reflected back to you. All right, that is today's reading. Enjoy the rest of today's service.
Hello, I'm Lorenzo.
And I'm Alexandra, and we are introducing today's sermon by Jason and Chrissy on persistence. And I think persistence is one of those topics that me and Lorenzo really love a lot. It's close to our hearts because it's really one of the most important things that can keep you going on your twin flame journey, on your ascension journey in general, is that just the attitude of never giving up. And this attitude, Lawrence and I are very familiar with because, in our childhoods we played video games and watched cartoons and animes, and usually in video games that's the main thing, like it's the hero's journey, and it's the hero, never loses, right? So one of the key attributes of the hero is persistence, right? The hero always makes it through, no matter what. They will pull a magic trick up their sleeve if they need to, in order to achieve what they desire, to make their dream come true. And this is something that both me and Laurentiu grew up with. Is part of our childhood is part of our, kind of like culture, in a sense. Like, this is what we grew up with, so therefore it's very close to our heart. And this was one of the reasons why I fell in love with the Church of Union, with being a Unionist and studying the teachings of Union, is because they have nailed these elements that I really loved in, things that I enjoy, like in my childhood, like video games, anime, cartoons. And one of them is persistence, right? So Jason and Chrissy will go very deep today with us on this topic of how important it is for us to keep persisting in our journey. It's persistent is like an action that you have to do all the time. It's not enough to think about your dream once and snap your fingers and there it is. We're not God in that. Even God took 7 days to create the world. So let's let's kind of be right. It will be a process for us to go through manifesting whatever we desire, be it our harmonious twin flame union, be it our dream home, being our dream career, be it our dream family or pets or anything. It will be a process. And sometimes things can get sticky and tricky on this process. And this is where really persistence comes through. It's in those moments that is really, really important for you to keep on going, to keep moving through whatever comes up in your journey towards your dreams.
Yeah, and it's really like something key. It's a key element, to really persist and really go, even if things feel hard, even if things are, like challenging, seem impossible. As you keep going, you're always going to find a way. And how Alexandra said about video games, there is a way to lose in a video game, and is to give up, and is to not persist. And I really like this analogy with the games because it really reminds me of an experience that I want to share with you guys about a game that became so hard and played by a lot of people that a lot of them would just like give up on it and never get to see the further of what actually happens. But those who persisted, even if you're like not so good at the game, when you persist, you're able to learn and develop and grow. And that happens in life. It's a very good metaphor for life. And I know I use that game as a reference because that really helped me a lot in my life to be persistent, because for example, in that space, I would see how challenging it would be, and I would see how I would make the same mistake over and over again. And then at some point, I would have to change and learn. And through persistence, you're able to change that. And that was a beautiful experience that I had through that game. That's a bit more like a realization of like, you can only lose a life at video games if you give up. But if you don't, you can never lose it.
Yeah, you will be successful if you persist. That's the only thing that you need to do. It kind of reminds me of the what Jeff and Shaleia said in Life Purpose class. They asked one of the students, how do you know that you have success in your journey, be it your life purpose journey, be it your twin flame journey? How do you know if you have success? And what Jeff and Shaleia shared was that you don't look at how much money you have on your account or if your twin flame is next to you or not. You don't look at anything externally. The only thing that you look at in order for you to determine if you're successful or not on your journey is, are you taking the next step forward? Are you healing the next upset? Are you moving to the next challenge to the best of your abilities? If yes, then you are very much successful in your journey. And I really love that because it allowed also me to relax in my own journey and to release maybe judgment or criticism on myself that I had about, oh, well, look at me, I don't have that yet, and maybe this person has that yet, and where I'm at with that. That doesn't truly matter. It matters that you choose to move forward, and that's the key essence of persistence that also Jason and Chrissy will go deeper with in the sermon.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the greatest things about persistence is that, again, you can never fail in life. You can never lose. No matter what happens on your journey, no matter how bad the situation might look like, if you choose to move forward, you will have your success. And Jason and Chrissy also go deeper on the kind of like the power of your choice and the importance of your choice in this act of persistence. And I wanted to like recommend like a reading material. It's a blog that Jeff wrote on the twinflamesuniverse.com website, and I left my phone somewhere else. I had it on the phone ready. I was like, I'm gonna talk about this blog, right? I forgot my phone. I'm sorry, but it's something with choices and the tidal wave that comes with that, and consequences, and how you can build a life of happiness. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly the title, but you will find it in the description below. Thank you. Good. So we will let Jason and Chrissy take it on from here and take us on a deep journey about persistence and the importance of it in your ascension journey.
Welcome everyone to another Church of Union Sunday service, and thank you so much for joining us today. We are Jason and Chrissy, your executive ministers of Union for today's service. Before we get started, let us begin with our 3 opening ohms followed by our opening prayer. Let's everyone take a deep breath in, and please join us out loud or mentally. I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I always remain. My mind is my sanctuary, where I keep his holy creation sacred. I will only allow in his voice. I will only accept his word. Today, I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to his teachings through his divine channel. I will honor what he has spoken and accept it as his will. I will be obedient to his word, for this is my salvation. In Christ's name, Om, Amen.
So, persistence.
Persistence. We want to talk about that today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does persistence get you?
Everything.
Oh. Case closed.
Boom. No, I think it's really important. I was reviewing some notes from TFAS, and I came across a moment where Jeff had spoken the Lord's Prayer, and then they unpacked it a bit and what it meant as a unionist. And I thought it was really profound for us on our journey at this time. And so I wanted to share a bit about it, like share just that clip from class, and then Jason and I are going to take some time to really unpack what was written, what was discussed. So, persistence is the direction of your choice. So this is the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us, says Jesus. It's the Lord's Prayer, right? And this is what was discussed after, really what this prayer meant to Jeff and Shaleia, and I found it quite profound. Give us the work that we must do to move forward, so that we may appreciate it, see it, accept it, and work through it. Forgive myself for choosing separation, for being out of alignment. I let it go. I forgive myself and move forward. It's true. Our Father's will and our will is the same. Your will and God's will are one. It's only that you are having blocks through choices of separation from your good. End quip. So I found that so incredibly profound, that how, like, that just that translation of the Lord's Prayer and discussing it, you know, this discussion was really eye-opening for me in regards to realizing how the embodiment of unionism and choosing to truly appreciate it, see it, accept it, and be it result in moving forward. And persistence being one of the 8 key fundamentals of Harmonious Twin Flame Union, and how persistence has really supported us on our journey into Harmonious Twin Flame Union and beyond in regards to our Ascension path.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, there's, I don't know, been countless amounts of times where the invitation was there not to move forward through something, right? And to just like ignore it or avoid it or try to go around it, maybe. But that, you know, when you're on an ascension path, you're it's not just like happenstance or, you know, just like random things happening, right? Like you're on a path set by God, and you're given situations and challenges that kind of build on one another, build off of one another, and you're tasked with getting through this so that it gives you the knowledge and the know-how and the insights to get through the next thing, and, you know, builds confidence along the way, so that once you start to move through some of these challenges, you're like, okay, well, that was the hardest thing that I've ever had to get through.
Yeah.
And I did it. Like hooray. You know, you don't really, you're not looking forward, so to speak, I guess, to the next humongous thing. But you do know that if you got through this thing, which you thought was incredibly hard, then using the mirror exercise and using the spiritual tools at your disposal, that you can apply the same thing to the next big challenge or any challenge and get through it as well.
Yeah, you build confidence.
Sure.
Right? Like
and trust.
And trust with yourself to change. Trust is built through doing something different. And you build trust as you continue to change your life. You build trust with yourself that one, you can, and that you're going to continue to do that as you realize where you've chosen separation from or being out of alignment with God. And it's really important if you've been given awareness, if you've been given something to look at, to gain awareness and you choose not to do it, you're consciously choosing to be out of alignment with God. And that's a conscious choice you're making at that point in some way. And you want to look there and really identify why and what feels so good about it. Because whenever I've done this, whenever I've been given an opportunity or an awareness, and I've looked and I'm like, yeah, this does feel bad. I feel bad about this. And so that awareness is a gift. That awareness gives you the opportunity to do the mirror exercise, heal in that space, and change your life. And as you change your life and build trust with yourself, it becomes easier and easier to do so and continue to create in your reality what you desire. And your will and God's will is the same. So that was a piece that says, our Father's will and our will is the same. Your will and God's will are one. How do you feel about that? Have you had challenges with that awareness and that truth in the past?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I certainly didn't see how that was true. I don't know. Several times, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a feeling of like wanting to be right.
Sure,
you have to like move through that unwillingness or that arrogance, right?
Normal occurrence to have that kind of thing. Especially as you build trust with your like journey itself, in the Ascension journey, you may come up against that, but you do know that like you're faced with a problem. And you're like, no, I don't want any of this. I want that thing, but that thing is like beyond all of this, right? And so you could put it off and avoid it, but that's not going to get you the thing that you do desire. And the only way to get there is to move through it, right? And when you have a situation or a problem, it's best to just like start chipping away at it, right? Would you say that that's like?
Yeah, I think that's what creates an unstoppable union is the choice to continuously move towards it, the choice to continuously heal, the choice to continuously align into God, love God and love yourself. I think that persistence is a key to your Harmonious Twin Flame Union. It's making me think of the book, so I'm just going to pull out your Twin Flames, Finding Your Ultimate Lover.
Where'd you get that?
I had it right here, surprisingly.
You surprisingly just
had it right there, yeah. It's right there. This ingredient is the engine behind an unstoppable union, persistence. Persistence is what keeps you trucking forward even when you're extremely and obscenely upset. Persistence is what pushes the next obstacle off the path. Persistence is the juice that says, I'm going to keep going forward and investing in my union anyway, even when you're faced with the same roadblock again and again and again, and you're having thoughts of giving up on yourself and your twin flame. That is on page 131 of Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover, one of the older versions, I believe. Yeah, I think this is huge. I think that so many people run into this where they're like, oh man, like I'm just done with my twin flame. I'm done with, they hit this energy, they hit this block, and they're just like, I think it would be easier if I just left, right? I see this a lot in people, especially when they're starting out on their unions, and you have to choose to move through that. You have to choose to move through that quit energy. Never, ever, ever quit on your twin flame journey. I think that a lot of times that persistence, that drive to move towards your desires is such a gift. To know what you want, know that you desire your twin flame, know that you desire your harmonious twin flame union, and continue to persist in the direction of your highest good. And choose things that are good for you versus things that are pleasurable for you, right? Don't necessarily choose something because it feels like it's the high. Really choose to be vulnerable, choose to be deep, choose to be present with who you are within, and move forward into your union and drive that energy into your highest good.
I saw something recently about I don't specifically remember the title of it, but it was like short-term choices or something like that. And like choosing for the short term, right? Which is like I can be, I can be satisfied right now if I, just drop all of my responsibilities and go, fool around at the park or with my friends or whatever. But that's not going to build like that long-term goal that you're desiring or that somebody's desiring. And so the short-term choice, I guess what you would call getting like the getting high choice or something like that, or just the pleasing thing versus the good thing, that will always come back to bite you in the behind, because you're giving up your long-term goal, your real desires, your eternal good for something that's right now, right? And I think like Jeff would call that like the poisoned honey or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what he does. He does call it that.
Yeah. Okay.
Jason's quoting Jeff. I'm loving it. Yeah, I think like something that came up while you were talking was, this, we've lived lifetimes, as Unionists, we believe that this is most likely not the first time for many of us to be here and on Earth. And we've been living lifetimes in separation. We've been living lifetimes in this separation energy. And so having compassion for yourself as you persist forward is also a requirement. Like, I think that, at the end of the day, we're only, like this says, it's only that you are having blocks through choices of separation from your good. So it's only that you are having blocks through choices. And so it's through choice we heal the blocks, right? It's through choosing love, it's through choosing God, it's through choosing your harmonious twin flame union, that all these things are going to come up to be released because of the choice you're making. So as you make that choice to be in harmonious twin flame union with your true twin flame, everything out of alignment with that choice is going to come up to be cleared. And that's the healing process. That's the process of harmonious twin flame union. It's through that healing. And that's why we have the mirror exercise. So we can heal anything that arises. We can provide self-care to ourselves. And as we do the things and apply it, it's a scientifically proven fact that you will have it. Your will and God's will are one. And so you can trust the process as you apply it and as you experience it. And you'll also, you know, when you stop applying it, you stop experiencing it. So, you know, it's important to persist through the blocks so you can continue to experience your good expand. So you can continue to create your reality, and you can continue to build your heaven on earth.
Right, that building your foundation, building longevity, something eternal. It's not the instant gratification thing, right? It's putting in effort. It's putting in
a lot of work.
But once you do, and once you work through something and heal something, you don't have to go back to it.
Nope.
Right? So you're done with it, and you move on to the next thing. And that's the
yours for eternity.
Beautiful part is it's not something that you have to keep trying to wrestle like once, right? Forever. Like once.
Yeah, once you heal the thing, it's healed.
You experience something new.
Yeah, you experience harmony in that space, joy in that space, bliss in that space, and then you continue to build on that. And then the cycle moves from like this, like
slow-moving drudgery.
Slow-moving drudgery, or, you know, crap cycle that you continue to experience block after block after block, to experiencing release and peace and happiness and happiness and more happiness and more happiness and bliss.
In longer periods.
Periods of those things as you do it. So you put up all the work up front, an incredible amount of work. But as you do that, and as we're taught in Life Purpose class, as you do that and you implement this work, it starts to get easier. And then it starts to just naturally occur. And then you can shift your energy to something else while it still runs within you, right? I think that's an incredible process.
Yeah, what is it? Thing in motion stays in motion.
Yeah, a body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest stays at rest.
Build that momentum, healing through stuff. It gets easier to do it, to maintain that.
Yeah, I think that yes. Yeah, I agree. Like, persistence is key there. I think the other thing in this, as we're talking about this, is forgiveness. It says, you know, give us the work that we must do to move forward, so that we may appreciate it, see it, accept it, and work through it. Forgive myself for choosing separation. For being out of alignment, I let it go. I forgive myself and move forward. I think self-forgiveness is, maybe it's had understated at times. It is one of the eight fundamental keys of Harmonious Union. Forgiveness is one of them. And forgiveness is all about letting go. Completely letting go of whatever it is. And choosing to love yourself there. And so if there's anywhere where you're choosing separation, if you are still working on your Harmonious Twin Flame Union, and you're finding places within you that are choosing separation, forgive yourself. You don't have to wait for anyone to do that. You can forgive yourself. You don't need to wait for anyone else's forgiveness. Simply choose to forgive yourself, love yourself, and bring that part of you home with the mirror exercise. And simply release all the resistance you have in that space. And it does require you to take responsibility for your choices, to respect and honor your experience and take responsibility for what's going on in your life. But as you do that, you open the door and the opportunity to heal. And as you heal, you change your life.
I think, like, holding on to anything like that, especially with your twin flame or anyone else, not forgiving them only burns you.
Oh, I was just reading this where, like, I think it was from the Buddha deck. We were doing work with forgiveness, and Buddha says that like, holding a grudge is similar to holding a hot coal in your hand and trying to pass it to somebody else. You only burn yourself, right? In the book Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover by Jeff and Shaleia, and the forgiveness on in the portion about forgiveness, It states that a lot of times what they'll see is two twin flames standing back to back with their hands like this, saying, I'm holding a grudge. I refuse to move forward until you forgive me. And they stand back to back in this gridlock of a grudge because they're in truth actually not willing to look at their upset and heal it within themselves, and they're waiting for somebody to change. If you are waiting for anyone to change, even if you're waiting for your twin flame to change, that's insane. You have the opportunity to change simply by loving yourself. No one else must change for you to create in your reality. So I'm just going to read a chapter out of the book on forgiveness. It's on page 137. We see so many twin flame couples who look like a pair of squabbling ducks who have been holding on to grudges for what appears like centuries. We see them energetically, arms angrily folded, looking away from each other, and both expecting the other to notice how upset they are, and subsequently change for them. This is such a silly and insane way to go about your twin flame union. If you expect them to change, apologize, or do anything for you to let go of your upset, you are absolutely insane in your expectation. Remember, your twin flame is literally you. It's twin flames finding your ultimate lover. And so when we're talking about, forgiving yourself for choosing separation, you don't have to wait until your twin flame chooses to forgive themselves or chooses to tell you they're sorry for their choices.
Or they're just like, hey, I've been acting like an idiot this whole time. Probably not going to happen. But
you're right. I'm wrong.
Right,
that's not going to happen.
But you do have the power to go within yourself and into your one consciousness and make a choice.
Absolutely.
Right. They align, right? As twin flames are one, they align to that core choice. Right?
Yeah, that's the beauty of twin flames. Like, you heal within yourself and everything in your reality in that space heals and moves forward into your good. Mm-hmm. That's what's amazing about this work. And it's scientifically proven. We are proof of that. We are proof of applying this work, embodying the teachings of union. It will change your life. And your life will only ever continue to get better as you persist through the work. As you embody it and embrace it in your life, you will experience the richness of life, the richness of God in your life. And we're living proof of that. Yeah.
As are others.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's just talk, I think maybe we close with that. We close with how we're persisting through our blocks and moving into our, our life. So what are we currently creating in our life utilizing the works of the teachings of union?
A lot of things.
Yeah, you can just pick one. Talk about it maybe, or experience a bit.
Okay. Well, we're building a home, so
that's a good one.
We're
I thought of that too.
We're manifesting a custom home.
We are.
And there's, I don't know, countless amounts of challenges with that, if you can imagine, or maybe not, but quite a lot of stuff to work through that just comes up, and it's easy. We work on it together, and it's fairly easy to move through everything that's presented, but it's all for our home.
Yeah,
right?
our foundation and our support
foundation,
system that's
right.
going to help us move to the next level of supporting our purpose work. And, we do have a tendency to fall into some traps associated with I guess waiting, but we don't have to wait for anyone. We can choose to partner with God, and God will move through others to partner with us, right? And so we simply continue to move through the blocks within our heart that we have that are choices of separation from our good here, choices of feeling like we're not worthy of our good here, or we're not doing what we need to do for our good. And even though everything looks logically in place and looks like it logically makes sense, we still have to work through the spiritual components of the manifestation itself, right? To have the most smooth and seamless process. And it is a process, and there's so many different components to it, but it's simply always love.
Sure. I would say not only is it a physical achievement, but it's also a spiritual achievement to,
Oh,
to be
100%.
building it. And so, like, you could go ahead and, I guess, I don't know, get a loan and get all the things to go build a home, right?
Right. Yeah.
Anybody could do that, right?
Yeah.
But we're also working through the spiritual side of it so that it's a complete manifestation.
It's our perfect home.
Sure.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of work and effort, but it's easy and it's fun, and sometimes it's frustrating, and there's some feelings to move through there.
And sometimes we want different things or something, but then we work through it and find like not like a compromise, I wouldn't say, but
no, it's never compromising.
Maybe, but like we narrow down to the root of like what we both find that we wanted. Right.
Yeah.
Like maybe it didn't look like it was going, like we came from it at different angles or something like that.
Right.
Or it looked like it was opposite, but it always kind of narrows down to something that we both really find that we desire.
Right, and that takes a lot of, to be able to partner with each other in this space in Harmonious Twin Flame Union and as Twin Flames. It requires honesty. It requires us to continue to work at our relationship and honor our union and, love our union every single day. And so one thing to remember is, before Harmonious Twin Flame Union, chop wood, carry water. After Harmonious Twin Flame Union, chop wood, carry water. We're going to continue to do the work. We're going to continue to embody the work and the teachings of union in everything that we do in our life. And we're always going to be invited deeper with God. And whatever it is, whatever you think you might want or whatever it's going to be, it might change. And practicing radical non-attachment is so incredibly important. The key here is to persist through the blocks and allow God to show you the life of your dreams. I always think of that little meme with the girl holding the little teddy bear behind her back and God holding a huge, big new teddy bear behind his back. And he's like, promise, trust me. I promise I have something for you. And she's like, I don't want to let go of my little teddy bear. You know what I mean? But God always has the next big thing for you. God always has the perfect, result for you. It requires trust and requires you to continue to do your part in the relationship to manifest and create new reality, and that requires persistence. Yeah. You good here, babe?
Yeah.
Do you feel complete? Do you have any closing comments?
Just keep going.
Yeah, it's worth it, y'all.
Yeah.
It's so worth it. Be honest, be authentic, and love yourself.
You never know what's around the corner if you keep going.
Yeah.
You never know.
So we will begin our closing with our closing prayer and alms. Please join us.
Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor your will in my life and will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me into your heart where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere and your teaching is in all things. God, I know you provide me clarity in this teaching of union that I may be forever in union with you. I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word and will share your teaching with him in any way you ask and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name, Amen.
Speaking this prayer in your heart means you have accepted that you are on the path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teachings of union with God wherever you find them and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator.
So taking a nice deep breath in, please chant with us out loud. or in your heart. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We will see you next time.
Namaste.
Hope you enjoyed the sermon. I know we did.
Yes, it was really great. And meanwhile, while Jason and Chrissy were talking about this, I grabbed my phone, so I have the title. And the title is of the blog that I wanted to recommend from Jeff and Shaleia. Jeff wrote it. It's on the Twin Flames Universe website, and it's called Choices, the Undeniable Tidal Wave of Consequences, and How to Use Them to Manifest Perfect Love. And I think like it touches great about what Jason and Chrissy talked towards the end about choosing between the good and the pleasant, always to choose the good and persevere making those good choices so you can have real results in your life, because your choices and your perseverance, your persistence will have consequences in your life. And this is a mechanic that you can use to manifest, perfect love, as Jeff said in the title of the blog. It's really a great blog. I highly recommend it. And yeah, I really love that, because sometimes in life, I didn't know before what was good and what was pleasant. And I think it's really important to allow yourself to have like some analysis time or introspection time whenever you choose to make a choice. Don't make a choice out of impulse or just because it feels good right now. Spend time with it, kind of simmer it, distill everything that you know. Because it might seem easier sometimes to be, for example, with a soulmate, because you do go through extreme upsets sometimes with your twin flame, and it's like, why would I bother, right, to go through this? Why would I persist through all of these challenges and all the mirroring that's happening between me and my twin flame? Might as well just get the soulmate and, be done with it. But look at the overall choices that you make. Look from an eternal point of view. Will that benefit you eternally to make that choice? Will that give to you eternally to make that choice? And when you start thinking from this eternal perspective and making good choices, even if it might seem uncomfortable, even if it might put you through some uncomfortable situation or situations that seem, stupid because nobody goes through them, like awkward situations where you're the only one left out. If that's what's leading you to your highest good, persevere. Move through that. Allow yourself to be the odd one out if that's what's necessary in order for you to achieve your highest dreams. And I think like we can relate with this mentality a lot, because it's not so common right now for people to pursue their twin flames still and know really how to go about the twin flame journey. And from that point of view, it might be hard sometimes to deal with like people who don't understand you outside of this community and outside of this circle, and kind of have that kind of mentality shift, that paradigm shift within all of us, to change from like, oh, it's better to choose the pleasant thing, to actually choosing the good thing for ourselves and moving through the feelings that come up with that, through the not so pleasant things.
Yeah, and actually, like if you look at it from the bigger picture, when it comes to choosing what's pleasant, that will happen. It will be more like an instant
Gratification.
And because of that, you don't need to be persistent there, because you just get what you want in that moment. But if you look at something that is long term and actually like would be eternal, how Jason and Chrissy said, like the sermon, is that you will need persistence into that. You can't do it without persistence. And here you have to see, as Alexander said, like, what do you want? Do you want to keep something just for a while, or do you want something, permanent? Because, go ahead.
Continue.
Well, because if you actually start working on something bigger, like you're doing Flame Union or Harmonious Union, and work to heal in that space and have that, you would have that, like you would achieve that, and you have that. I don't know how to say it better.
You'll have it eternally. Like
Yes,
once you arrive in your harmonious union, and you choose to keep chopping wood and carrying one, like Jason and Chrissy say about this. Like, don't stop just because you attain harmonious union. You continue working the process. You will have this thing eternally, and even if it might seem hard or challenging, is not actually. It's ever growing. It's like taking care of a garden that gives you, vegetables and fruits that you can enjoy all the time, right? It's worth it for you, and you'll have to kind of come to that realization yourself to realize that what is good is better than what is pleasant for you. Yup.
You said it really well.
Thank you. That was an amazing sermon. I really loved it. I love this subject, and I love all the other sermons as well. So if you're interested to see all of our other sermons, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and also visit the unionism.org website, where you will see all of our previous sermons, all of our content. And there you can also choose to tithe or donate to the Church of Union if you feel inspired by our message and you wish to support it more. Don't forget as well to, again, like and subscribe. And also afterwards, come and join us in the after church tea time in the Facebook group, Unionism Spiritual Discussion. Thank you everybody for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Namaste.
Namaste.